Production. With the commish, Nate.
Good morning and welcome to Press Pass Live OMFL Media Days. Day number, what day is it? I don't even know what day. It's like day 8 or something. It looks like we might actually have 100% turnout for OMFL Media Days. Let's get rid of this real quick. I am still wiping, see, I can't even talk. I am still wiping sleep out of my eyes because that little couch back there has been my bed for the past week and probably will be my bed for another 5 days because my poor wife is still sick with COVID. But I'm also closing on the house this morning, totally forgot. And so we gotta get through this and have a good time with our guys. And I've got 2 dudes that I'm super pumped that I get to interview. One, I just never get to really talk to all that much. I've been kind of going out of my way recently just to kind of get to know him better. And one that I have been begging and pleading and praying and offering sacrifices that he would come back one day. And this year he is coming back, and I'm super, super pumped. Let me welcome in our first guest of the morning here. Let me make sure that we are all set up, and I think let me make sure. Hold on before I do it, because I'm going to make a mistake here. Let me make sure. Do I have the right guy? I do have the right guy. All right, let me welcome in the very first coach, who is the coach of the Denver Broncos and has been for quite some time. We see them go on a roll last year. Excited to see what they're going to do this year with a new quarterback. Let me welcome in Coach Glaze. Coach Glaze, good morning. How you doing this morning, buddy?
Good morning, Nate. I'm doing good, hanging out. Just let the puppy outside, so everything's getting rolling.
Nice. And even doing this like on a trip. And so he's like making special permissions for us. I appreciate you. Give us some opening statements about your Denver Broncos.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Like you mentioned, we have a new quarterback, not new to the league, but new to us, Russell Wilson. We're excited for him to run this offense. I don't believe I have had a quarterback going into a new Madden since I've been the Broncos owner. It's been a carousel ever since, so I'm excited to actually have a stable quarterback back there instead of trying to draft one, trade, or pick one up in free agency. New schemes, new defensive players. I'm ready to get this thing rolling with them.
Well, let's talk about it. What are you most excited about for Madden 23 with the Denver Broncos?
Normally, I'm excited for our defense. I wanted in the past to keep us in games. Now with this offense, like I said, a new quarterback coming in, a stable one that actually has a track record of winning in this league. I'm most excited to be able to do my own stuff with them offensively instead of having to rely on the run game. Time of possession, I want to go out there and sling the ball around. We have a good young group of receivers, a good young group of tight ends. They have some speed to them, good catching. That's what I'm most looking forward to is my offensive.
You do have such a young team in like the skill positions with some really fun players, especially on that defense. Let's talk about some concerns. What are the areas of concerns the most for the Denver Broncos?
A couple area of concern. Number one for me is my linebacking core. Anytime you lose a player like Von Miller, that leaves a huge hole that can be exposed. Yeah, we still have Bradley Chubb. He's regressed a little bit, but that middle linebacking core, same thing. We don't have a dominant name in the house. Still young guys, but that can leave a lot of huge holes defensively, especially, tight ends, scrambling quarterbacks that you see in the league now. So that's going to be a huge area to fill this new Madden.
You threw out some big names there. You forget some of these big names that were on the Broncos, but maybe what's one guy that no one has really heard of or doesn't really think of when they think of the Broncos who you're like, hey, people should keep an eye on this player?
I'm going to go with Javonte Williams. I know he's a young up-and-coming running back. It's his second year in this league. But the dude's just a stud. I mean, he coming in. I was excited to use him last year as a rookie, and he exceeded my expectations. And this year I'm looking at him to really take, 80% of the snaps, 70% of the snaps to, in the red zone, short yardage, third downs. He's that bell cow to where he'll break open a few tackles, and I see him, once I'm handing him off the ball, that play action is going to be a lot easier with Russ. So Javonte is definitely that guy.
All right, now we've seen your team in the OMFL Bowl, but we've also seen your team have a top 5 pick, man. We've seen you all over the place. Give me some predictions. What do you think season 102 is going to carry for the Broncos?
I'm super excited with this team. My expectations are very high. I would say that I'm expecting a playoff run. In years past, it's been a struggle, like you said, all over the place. And I think this year, now that I have an established quarterback, I think it'll help me get there a lot faster than it has in years past.
All right, let's talk about Madden 23 for a minute. You're a very busy man, playing catch-up since having COVID. I got to figure out a way to go visit you, though, because I've never been to Denver, and it's gorgeous up there. I know it is. So I got to make a way up there. Let's talk about Madden 23 real quick. What excites you the most from the things that you're hearing?
I'm excited for the gameplay. I think Madden's it's been very consistently inconsistent, if you want to put it that way, with the gameplay. And I'm very excited to see how smooth it is, being that it's a new PS5. It wasn't rushed like it was last season. They've had a full year to get it out. Seen some of the trailers and seen some of the gameplay that's been out there. It's been really, reassuring that this one, they may have gotten it right. I'm waiting for those few kinks, but I'm excited for the smooth gameplay for sure.
Yeah, I think you're hitting the nail on the head. I can't think of the way that you're supposed to say that. I can't wait for it either. Glaze, thank you so much, man. You're one of the many, many guys that I'm like, if dudes would just take a minute to get to know you. I know we don't get to talk to you much because you're so busy, and we just don't get to see you a whole lot. But I'm like, if people would just take a minute to go get to know you, they just know how cool of a dude that you are. And I appreciate you doing this, man. Thanks for making time for us this morning. Good luck to your Broncos. I can't wait to see you on the field here in just a couple weeks.
Thank you, man. Absolutely. I'm excited for it.
All right, my buddy. Take care. All right, there you have it. Coach Glaze of the Denver Broncos. Just like, man, that's why we do media days. That right there. That dude is a really cool dude. We didn't even get to have him on the last media days. It's looking like we might get 100% participation this year. Still a little in the air. We're trying to work out a couple of details with a few friends, but we're almost there. Now, the next guy is the bestie of our second in command, even though I hate saying it that way, but our kind of champion of champions, the guy who is just always here, Mr. Dwayne, and that is Mr. Dawson. I am so glad that you are back, Dawson. What? Look at this photo, Bill. Bill's in chat right now. Like, how can you not you just want to squeeze those little cheeks and the babies too while you're at it. Dawson, thank you so much for joining me this morning, brother. I got so much love for you. Give us some opening statements about your team. I don't even know where you're at. That's how out of it I am. So much movement happened. But tell us about your team.
Yeah, I appreciate all this and being able to come back. And so I think when I first came back, I guess it was San Francisco, but after a few team moves and everything, I landed with Arizona. I think D-Money went over to the 49ers and a few other changes. But with Arizona, haven't really did a deep dive of the roster. So that's probably going to be one of the first things I do when the game released, kind of look at the players, the contracts, and kind of plan the cycle and what I need to do and what I not need to do.
All right, let's talk about your Cardinals just a little bit. That's a fun team. You lost a little speed at receiver. I know that you're probably not following the Cardinals in real life, but you've got a really fun team. What about that team, just on the surface, you think excites you the most?
Yeah, I didn't really follow them. I know Collar did sign that big contract a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, good luck managing that cap, sir.
Yeah, yeah. I guess he's going to get to do a lot of film study. Make sure I can he can actually play on the field and everything. But I know I think there's another offensive lineman that just signed, DJ Humphreys. He resigned an extension. So there's a few guys, star players out there that are going to be long term, and like you just said, the cap space, that's going to be probably no wiggle room for that early on in the cycle. So just ready to kind of shape it up. I guess that's most exciting thing. Shape it up the way I play. I think right now they're more of a pass happy team, just by looking at the roster, the depth chart, and everything. So we want to shape that up because that's not one of my I guess pros is to pass the ball. So I'm going to change the game style of the way I have been in the past.
Let's talk about some concerns, though. What concerns you the most about that roster?
So yeah, what little I did look at the ratings when it released, I guess a couple weeks ago. There's a lot of aging stars. You got AJ Green, which somehow he's still in the league, and then you got Zach Ertz, JJ Watt.
Uh-oh. Did we lose you? Oh, no. Oh, you're back. I hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
I can. Did your phone go to sleep?
It did, yeah.
I told you. I warned you.
Sorry about that. Where did
JJ Watt. We were talking about JJ Watt.
Okay, yeah. So a lot of aging star players. I know the contracts. I know Watt has got 1 year left. Hopkins, I think maybe 2 years left. So it's going to be a challenge, kind of rolling the roster over and filling those roles because these are some star players. And just looking at the ratings, a lot of the roster is more top heavy than anything. So I think that's going to be a challenge. And mostly there's like no running backs on the roster. So James Conner is there, but I feel like he's more of a running back number two, a spell running back. So, but just a few challenges, but up for it.
Have you made any decisions about imports?
So, yeah, I know a lot of guys are on imports. I didn't know if I could bring one over or what. So,
oh, yeah. Yeah, you're getting an import.
Okay. I think I guess I'd pull one from the Arizona roster from last cycle, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, I haven't made any decisions yet on that.
Yeah, you're definitely going to get an import. Well, let's talk about a player on that team. I know you don't know the roster a lot, but who's like maybe one guy that you're like, I never really heard of this guy, but his ratings caught my attention.
Yeah. So there's a tight end, a rookie tight end they just drafted, Trey McBride. He's out of Colorado State. And I think he was voted the best tight end in college last season. So I'm hoping. I think right out of the box, he's like 73 overall. But he's got some good ratings, some speed. I think he's more of a receiving tight end. So I mean, you can't build any rookie if you let him sit on the bench. So he's going to be tight end number one right out the gate. And just kind of hope for some good dice rolls and get us, get him more well balanced, more of a blocking tight end as well, and kind of just hope for the best early on. I don't know how it was in the 22 cycle, but 21 cycle when I was here, the tight end draft class was not good at all. So it was. I know there was a lot of, if you had a tight end early, that was good, and then the very end you had to kind of scrounge up a lot of the scraps at the very end. So having a rookie tight end on at least maybe a 5-year contract, it would be good down the road. Kind of help, I guess, against the defense. Either it's Hollywood Brown or DeAndre Hopkins open them up and kind of open up the offense more.
Yeah, you and your buddy, y'all love your tight ends. The draft class was weird last Madden for tight ends. Superstars and then like just scrap metal pieces. Let's talk about some predictions. We also have seen you, a lot like me, a lot like Glaze, kind of all over the place. You've had some teams where it's been like, ooh, I'm going to get a top pick. And then you've made some runs and made it almost to a couple of OMFL Bowls a couple of different times. What do you think is going to happen with your Arizona Cardinals as season 102 approaches?
Yeah, so 21 cycle. I know we talked about in the past and everything, but I did make it to the bowl that one year or that one season, but I had to play Dakota. So you know how all that turned out.
I remember it was the last season, I think.
Yeah, it was the last.
That's
season,
right.
Yeah,
the Dawson Bowl.
Yeah, or Dakota Bowl.
Dakota Bowl. That's it.
Yeah, but just kind of looking at, looking at my division opponents. You got D Money, TM, and Duval, and I played against all these before. It's been a few cycles, so I gotta get adjusted to their play style and kind of see how they play and everything. As far as predictions, just try to stay above 500, and once I stay above 500, then I can try to have a shot at the division title or a wild card spot. And once you get in the playoffs, you know anything can happen. You always upset some of those big dogs, and especially there's a lot of those in the NFC. So it's gonna be hard to squeak in the playoffs early on in the season. The way my roster is played out and the way I play, but again, up for the challenge, but just hope for the best and prepare for the worst.
Wife's already in here checking on me. Last question. We're going to wrap it up with this. What excites you the most about what you're hearing from Madden 23?
So, yeah, I haven't really heard a whole lot about Madden 23. I know a few have discussed about the pass rush and everything, but one thing I am excited for, so later today, my ISP is going to install fiber optic. So,
look at you.
Yeah. So
I'm jelly.
Going to level the playing field a little bit. At least I'm hoping, on paper. So, but that's kind of what I'm most excited for. I know the pass rush is a lot of people are saying it's back. So, kind of excited, so guys won't drop 12, 15 yards in the back and just throw it deep. That's not really. Hopefully, there'll be a little pass rush and I guess get a few sacks on the way.
That's awesome. Congrats on the fiber. That's going to be super cool. They are running fiber in the front of my neighborhood, so it's slowly working its way back towards me. I cannot wait. Dawson, you are just one of the amazing human beings that any league would be just like way better to have. We are blessed to have you. I know that life is still kind of all over with the very cute baby that you have there, but you're still willing to come give it a shot. I appreciate it. We're going to make it work no matter what we got to do. We just gotta keep Bill away from you. Just keep Bill away from you. We'll be okay. But I got a lot of love for you. Thank you for coming back. Thanks for talking about your Arizona Cardinals, and I can't wait to see you on the field in 23.
Hey, I appreciate it all, and I'm glad to be back. And thanks, everyone.
Thanks, buddy. There you have it, Coach Dawson of the Arizona Cardinals. Because Bill, he might need to take all 3 days, and that drives you nuts. I get it. You're passionate, but he's got a baby, and it's worth maybe a couple extra long advances to have Dawson here. So I appreciate those guys. Look, the wife has already popped her head in and threatened to murder me if I don't wrap this up. So I got to wrap this up. I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning. Tomorrow morning, we have a full plate. I think we have 3 or 4 different coaches joining us. I can't talk. I'm sorry. 3 or 4 coaches joining us tomorrow morning. It's going to be a ton of fun. I love you. I'll see you on the other side, okay? Bye.
Smash that like and subscribe.